Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a third Premium Public video discussion for this week. It's Friday, of course, so we normally have one anyway. And we have a lot to talk about. So today's theme, all right, on the title of this video is Good, Not Perfect. And that is the process I'm going about with this forecast. Will I get some locations wrong? Probably. This is a very complicated and very volatile forecast. And especially when you're dealing with mesoscale banding and you're seeing the model guys kind of jumping around with the location of that banding. Some locations over the interior, around the Hudson River Valley, others around northern New Jersey into New York City, and it changes from run to run. So when you have in that situation, you can either do one or two things. You could try to be perfect and play whack-a-mole with that band and try to figure out where the heaviest snowfall is going to be and then say you were right. Or you could protect the clients and the general public. So I'm going to go with protecting the clients and the general public with this snowfall setup. So let's go over what we're dealing with right now. We have Arctic air streaming in. It's 8 degrees here in the Catskills, around Allentown, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. It's 16 degrees. So yeah, that Arctic air is definitely in here, especially in Newark. Down in central New Jersey, we're down to 23. Trenton's at 21. Philadelphia is 27. Notice the dew points here are at 8, 12, 9, 6, 4. That's some dry air. That's some cold, dry air. And so what you're going to initially have here is a very cold environment with warm air trying to invade. And that is the name of the game, all right? You have warm air invading while you're having significant divergence and diffluence aloft, which leads to a lot of rising air. And so when we take a look at the radar here, this is not reaching the ground. Let me just refresh this here. And this is our WeatherTap radar and surface map. Here's our high pressure system extension. You got one extension here, one way up here, up in Quebec here, about 1034 millibars building down, producing what we call cold air damming. You can see that here as well on the pressure lines here, isobars here. Cold air damming down against the Appalachian Mountains, streaming down the coast. This precipitation is not reaching the ground yet. It's what we call virga. Again, very dry atmosphere, so the precipitation initially comes in, a lot of increase in cloud cover, a lot of action on the radar, not much going on right now. As we get into the afternoon hours after 3 p.m., you're going to start to see more and more snow breakout, and then steady, heavy snow start to show up on the radar in the observations. For the live coverage today, which we're going to start at 4 p.m., I'm going to keep the radar like this rather than doing the the winter cover on here where you get like the snow and the ice. And we're going to compare the observations to what we're seeing because it's going to be very volatile. And you're going to see a lot of observations, especially on X, where you're going to go snow, sleet, rain, back to snow, snow again, heavy snow, then driving sleet, then back over to snow. It's going to be all over the place. So what is going on in the atmosphere to cause all this? And you can already see the convective nature here in some of the precipitation bands here coming out and getting ready to dive into this Arctic air mass. Well, first of all, notice the strong lifting that's already showing up. Now, this is not a strong shortwave. And take a look at the water vapor satellite picture. There's nothing really too vigorous about this shortwave, not like this here. This right here sets up our block to keep our high pressure system in place, to keep the cold air streaming in. So here's our block, here's our traffic cop, here's our shortwave diving in, and you can literally see the 250 to 500 millibar weather pattern. Here's our shortwave ridge in place right now. Here's our trough. Here's our shortwave coming in, getting stretched. And you can see that also very nicely here on the upper level winds at, I believe this is 250 millibars. Our upper level low continuing to intensify. Our block here, here's our convergence confluence, setting up our strong high pressure system. And here comes our shortwave. Again, not very dynamic, not very strong. What's driving this whole thing is a clash of air masses and the jump from the interior to the coast of the surface low pressure system, which is going to lead to a trough showing up. Even though the model guidance is struggling showing where that trough sets up, that is going to be a key determining factor in this forecast, which we're going to now cast tonight. In the meantime, you can see the cold air coming in. Here's our ridge axis here at 850 millibars. This is what's going to keep us dry through at least until the mid-afternoon hours. Again, you can see the stretching here already occurring here in the atmosphere at the mid-levels. This is all just going to shift this way, and this whole dynamic is going to start shifting towards us. Now, the whole setup here is what happens with the warm air trying to push in at 700 millibars and the stretching in the atmosphere. I want to keep on repeating that so you understand the complexity of this forecast here. When we take a look at the upper level winds for tonight, for this evening, okay, there's our convergence confluence, setting up our high pressure system. Here's our jet streak diving in. This is an area of divergence and diffluence aloft. Here's our shortwave diving into it. So you're going to get a new low pressure starting to take shape here. That whole process is going to lead to a pulling in the atmosphere along with this jet streak that is starting to take shape. And you can see as we get to the midnight hour, that jet streak is intensifying and leading to more rising motion in the atmosphere. Remember when I said that? Rising motion. We're going to take a look at a skew T and I'm going to show you why that's really important. Then we go to 500 millibars. Again, not a strong storm and not a strong upper level low or anything of that nature. Just a disturbance diving in. This is your typical clipper, but a little bit of spice, a little bit of enhancement here. And here is our enhancement. And this is what I'm worried about right here. Okay. This is 700 millibar omega. This is a measure of rising air in the atmosphere, right? So when you have rising air in the atmosphere, a lot of funky things can happen that typically lead to a lot of chaos here. And this is why I keep on saying good, not perfect. Because when you have this diving in, here we are at 7 p.m. when this storm is really getting going. And then here we are at 1 a.m. This is going to be a fast storm too, okay? So probably about 2 a.m., the worst of this is going to be over. So this process, this 6-hour process, means that this feature is diving southward in this direction, okay? This cuts off your snowfall, just a few snow showers, 1 to 2 inches out here. Your main event is right in here, right in this corridor where this dives in. Now, as this dives in, you can end up with one large band cutting right through New York City with lighter snow on the east end of Long Island, heavy snow in central New Jersey, and then lighter snow down towards Philadelphia with sinking air, and you end up with a lot of sleet in Philadelphia, maybe an inch of sleet out of that. Or this band forms 2 bands leading to sinking air over New York City, dropping heavy snow in Long Island and off towards the Hudson River Valley, and another intense band just north of Philadelphia into central New Jersey. Certainly a possibility as this is diving in. So you can see what the different possibilities are. Yeah, it could be all focused up here in the Hudson River Valley, cutting right through central Long Island. And New York City struggles to get 6 inches of snow because of subsidence. Absolutely a possibility in this setup. It just depends on how this all plays out. And the reason why that's important, let's take a look at the skew T. Now we'll go down to Philadelphia here. And here's our skew T. And you can see plenty cold enough for snow up to about 850, heck, even 800 millibars. Then you get this warm push right here at 700 millibars. This is a significant sleet sounding. Okay. Now, this is in a situation on the HRR where you had strong lifting, changing the precipitation over in central New Jersey. Well, what does that look like? And here's our sounding difference. Okay. This is under the band of heavy snow. I'm not saying this is going to happen verbatim, but here it's the difficulty of the forecast. Because of the strong lifting in that band, you turn a sleet sounding into a snow sounding because 700 millibars is cooled. So do you want to try and play perfect and try to figure out exactly where that band's going to set up and tell people you're only going to get 2 inches in Monmouth County and they end up with 6? Or do you want to be good and say, hey, look, here's the situation. Here's how you prepare. Go to New York City, okay? New York City is the same scenario here, okay? You have very heavy snow, and you have a very similar sounding. The difference is that with the strong lifting, much colder environment, very heavy snow. So you can see where this can get very complicated, where this band sets up. And remember, rising motion has got to be sinking motion. So if you have a strong band here, then you have to have sinking air here, which warms this layer, which leads to more sleet and freezing rain. On the immediate Jersey Shore down towards, let's say, Cape May, you have this easterly wind in place. So it's going to get you up to 34, 33 in rain. I know it's not pretty, but it is what it is. So that is the complex nature of this setup. As a result, going with this forecast here. All right. Let me show you down towards Philadelphia. You're in this red zone here, okay, which on our impact map, let me pull that up real fast. Okay. And here. Okay, so our impact map, this is 4. Now, premium members get this map to zoom in. I wanted to show it because it gets really complicated around the Philadelphia metro, okay? So in Philadelphia itself, you're in zone 4. So looking at 1 to 4 inches of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, like you might get a half an inch of snow and an inch of sleet. If you get that band to push in a little bit further south, you could end up with a little bit more snow. So this kind of depends on whether or not we see snow or sleet. And then again, we'll watch out for the freezing rain. So this is a mixture of snow, sleet, and then we watch out for that freezing rain threat. I'm very concerned about locations like down towards, let's say, Plattsburgh and let me scroll down here, down towards, well, basically all southeastern Pennsylvania here. Very concerned about these areas here, down towards Wilmington and northern Delaware, off towards locations like Lancaster, for freezing rain here. This is going to be an issue, okay? So definitely use some caution driving. Okay, then we go down towards southern New Jersey. Again, this is where you're in zone 5, where we're going to go snow, changing over to rain, a trace to 2 inches. It's going to be a real slop fest down here. So not expecting a lot down here because of the easterly wind component. Then this is where this can be very, very broad or very, very sharp, okay? Where depending on where that band sets up, you can easily push up to 3 inches or should I say 6 inches of snow and sleet, or you can get 2 or 3 inches of snow and a lot of sleet. So this could be a very, very complicated period up towards from Allentown to Trenton, through Northern Ocean and Southern Monmouth County, the Eastern Monmouth County, where you have a lot of warm air trying to push in on both directions here. Then we get to our main event up towards New York City, and from basically central interior New Jersey through northern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania. Let me zoom out here. You can see this whole thing. Now, not everyone's going to get 10 inches out of this. Okay, this is a scenario where this band sets up, someone is going to get possibly as much as a foot of snow out of this, depending on the snow ratios and the duration of the band that sets up here. But some very impressive snowfall is going to be taking place here. So New York City, if you get hit with that band, you're definitely going over 6 inches. There is also the potential here that band could set up just over to the east of you or to the west of you, and you miss the worst snowfall and you struggle to get 6 inches. That is completely in the realm of possibility. You have the band set up here and lock in right here. Absolutely. Totally a possible scenario, which we're going to nowcast as we watch. Then as we head further east, if we have the focus of the strongest lifting down here, going with 3 to 6 inches of all snow, no concern about sleet out here, out towards eastern Long Island. It's going to be all snow event. If you get touched with this band, definitely touching 6 inches. Same thing back here through central Connecticut and up towards Albany. And then out here is just pretty much snow showers and flurries. And because the atmosphere is so dry, it enhanced fluff factor because you're in the deep of the Arctic air here. So easily 1-2 inches will be easy to pick up with a few snow showers dropping through in this location. So that's the general forecast that we have played out. Now, for the overall forecast, again, we have the precipitation coming in. Temperatures will be ranging rather wildly, mid to upper 20s over the northern interior and the New York City metro, upper 20s to lower 30s on Long Island through central New Jersey into Philadelphia and through southeastern Pennsylvania. Lower to mid-30s down here in southern New Jersey. That's the change over to rain. And those temperatures are going to hold for the lows as well. Then tomorrow afternoon, with this whole storm clearing out, look for temperatures to rebound into the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior and New York City metro, lower to mid 30s in the Philadelphia metro and southern New Jersey. Temperatures aren't going to be moving all that much, with the precipitation in the afternoon completely come to an end. The bulk of this is, again, going to be from 8 p.m. this evening through 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then tapering off thereafter. For Sunday, high pressure is in control with scattered cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid-teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s in your suburbs, lower to mid-20s in your urban areas. High temperatures as the high pressure system departs and a warm front approaches. Look for temperatures to rebound very nicely into the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s in the New York City metro, lower to mid 40s in the Philadelphia metro. There may be at the very start of this a little bit of freezing rain and sleet, but everyone goes over to rain as we move through the afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours into Monday morning. Temperatures, in fact, basically hold where they are for the highs on Sunday afternoon. So your Monday morning lows will be in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. And then those temperatures continue to rise ahead of a strong Arctic cold front ranging from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s in the New York City metro, mid to upper 50s in the Philadelphia metro. And then those temperatures free fall once again, with Arctic air taking hold and scattered snow showers and flurries a threat on Tuesday. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 20s over the interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. On New Year's Eve, I was saying yesterday, watch this clipper. We'll have the first one drop through with a few snow showers here and there, not anything major, okay? So New Year's Eve, if you're going out for a celebration, watch out for a few snowflakes, but overall pretty quiet. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast for lows. High temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Then by the time we get to midnight on New Year's Eve, that is when we can expect temperatures basically in the mid to upper 20s. Then on New Year's Day, I was saying previously, watch out for this clipper. I didn't buy the idea of it setting up in the Gulf of Maine. Now it's starting to show up off the shore here with scattered snow showers. Keep an eye on this time period for New Year's Day. Right now we're going with scattered snow showers with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s in your suburbs, mid to upper 20s in your urban areas. High temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. And then on Friday, look for a scattered cloud cover with just a few flurries around the area. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid-teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid-20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. That is your premium public video discussion for today. We'll have a live coverage of this winter storm event at 4 p.m. I'm actually going to set it up right after I get done with all the other updates. And then we'll see who was right and who was wrong. And then we learned from it. In the meantime, stay safe out there.